Namaste. Welcome to the 33rd video in the overall series and introduction to Sanatana Dharma. This is the second video in the mini series, What is Dharma? Uh, I might wrap this mini series up in this video, or it might extend to one more video. Let's see. Now, there has been a long gap as well from the earlier video. Hopefully, I'll not have this long a gap going forward. The thumbnail of this video is obviously Sri Krishna Paramatma and Arjuna, the Bhagavad Gita, where he spoke about dharma, different kinds of dharma, like what is dharma and all, right? So obviously, very detailed text. The thumbnail, what I have, or rather the virtual background, is Swami Karapatri Ji Maharaj. He India has been a land of sadhus. In fact, when we touched upon the Ramayana also, we spoke about how Rama's path was actually that of rishis, right? So rishis, sadhus, sannyasis. India, Bharat Desha, has always been a land of these great people. One of them was Swami Shri Karapatriji Maharaj. That was a colloquial name that was given to him. Do read up about him when possible. I have taken certain points that he made in the later part of the video. That is the reason I wanted his image as the virtual background. Let's get into the video. Let us start with a quick recap of what we covered in the earlier video. I mentioned that dharma is the first of the purusharthas, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. The first is dharma. There is no single word to translate this. Two components broadly, Vihita karma, Nishiddha karma, what is to be done, what is not to be done. Two kinds, Samanya dharma and Vishesha dharma. Samanya dharma, which is common, Vishesha dharma, which is specific depending on the desha, kala, time and place. Sorry, Kshatra dharma, Rakshas dharma, occupation, Varna, Desha, Kala, time and place, depending on these, Visesha dharma changes. So the same person might have different dharmas depending upon Desha, Kala, so on and so forth. I'll also touch upon Apad dharma, Shukranita a little while later. Obviously, dharma has come down from the divinity. Anulangha Shashana is a nama taken from the Lalita Sahasranamam. In the Vishnu Sahasranamam, we have a statement which says Achara Prabhavaha Dharmaha Dharmas Parvarachitaha. Acharas, all our rituals, rites, whatever our practices come from dharma, and dharma comes from Achyuta, he who has no downfall. Vishnu, you can say Vishnu, Krishna. Then we also mentioned that how in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna promises that whenever necessary, he incarnates himself to, let's say, suppress adharma and ensure dharma rises. We also touched upon the story of Dharma Vyadha from the Mahabharata, that dharma is not the preserve of any particular varna or caste or so on and so forth. Dharma Vyadha, a Shudra, a butcher, taught Kaushika, a Brahmana, about dharma. Then we also touched upon concepts like Dharma Chakra, Samsara Chakra, Padmanabha, Rasalila, couple of these points. Now let's proceed further. Dharma is something which is at the same time simple and complex. Why am I saying this? It is very simple because uh, it simply says do certain things, don't do certain things, do your duty, don't do what is not your duty. Very simple that way, right? At the same time, obviously pretty complex to follow. An example, let's take this shloka. It says, Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat, satyam apriyam, priyam chana anradam bruyat, esha dharma sanatanaha. Satyam bruyat, speak the truth. Priyam bruyat, speak what is pleasing. Na bruyat, satyam apriyam, do not speak truth in an unpleasing manner. Priyam chana anradam bruyat, just because it is sweet, do not speak a lie. Esha dharma sanatanaha. This is sanatan dharma. Looks complex, right? So this is the reason I said following dharma is not very simple. Uh, it should be followed dharma, but we praise dharmikas precisely because it is not so easy to follow dharma all the time. This is the reason why we adore, this is one reason why we adore Rama in this land. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. In fact, let me also go to the next point. To just illustrate the difficulty of being good, there's a book by, I think, Gurucharan Das called The Difficulty of Being Good, uh, which talks about dharma, I think from the Mahabharata, if I'm not mistaken. There is a story where once upon a time a sage was performing tapasya. A deer came running to him and it was running away from a hunter, and it came running to him and hid in a bush close to him. The hunter came and asked the rishi, "Did you see a deer come by?" Now the rishi was in a quandary. If he spoke the truth and told the hunter where the deer was, he would incur the sin of causing an animal, a living being, to lose its life. If he said that he did not know where the animal was, he would incur the sin of lying. Now, a rishi, a sadhu, a sannyasi, lying would be the last thing they would ever want to do. What this person apparently said was, that which sees cannot speak, that which speaks cannot see. The hunter said, okay, this fellow is speaking nonsense, and left. For that instant, the person was able to actually save himself from adharma, the rishi, but it is not always possible. It is not something which is very simple. This is the reason why dharmikas are adored. Now, there are a lot of people who cast aspersions on Sri Rama, of all people. They say that there are the examples I've taken are from the Ramayana itself. They say Rama killed Vali hiding behind a tree. He asked Sita to jump into the fire. He left Sita in the forest, a pregnant woman in his forest. What kind of human being is he? Why is he treated as a god? There's a story that a lot of people are not aware of, which is there in the Uttarakanda. A lot of the, I think, class warriors may be aware of the story. There's a portion in the Uttarakanda, the seventh Kanda of the Ramayana, where Ashudra named Shambuka was killed by Rama for performing tapasya. I will not go into these details in today's video for want of time. I'll try to touch upon each of these videos separately, individually. People take these examples and say that what kind of person is he? Why do you call him God? He's a they call him various names. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha is a statement taken from the Ramayana, and it was uttered by a Rakshasa of all people. Rama is Dharma personified, was uttered by a Rakshasa, Maricha in the Ramayana. It was not Valmiki, it was not Vasishtha, Vishwamitra, or some other Maharshi who said this. It is a Rakshasa who said this because he understood the divinity and the greatness of Sri Rama. Now, to give you another example, the reason I'm just highlighting this is every Tom, Dick, and Harry today stands up and casts aspersions on what Sri Krishna do, what Rama do. They need to understand the difference between something called dharma and something called dharma sukshma. Dharma is something, uh, with dharma, we just touched upon what is dharma, couple of points about dharma. Dharma sukshma is something which looks to be adharma at the surface, but is actually dharma. So the examples, all the examples that I took, right, the killing of Vali, Agni Pariksha of Sita, Shambuka's killing, Ashwadhama Kunjara, I'll come to that story a little shortly. All these are examples of what is called dharma sukshma, subtle dharma, right? The subtlety of dharma. So it might look as adharma from the surface, but it is actually not. So whenever you are going through the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Itihasas, Puranas, if there is something which does not seem to be in line with what dharma is, definitely ask a question, pause, understand why does this seem not to be dharma. Ask people who are aware. They will actually tell you the difference between the dharma and the dharma sukshma. They can explain the dharma sukshma involved in these particular stories. To give one small example, we question Sri Ram. A lot of people question Sri Rama, right? Now, if I ask 10 people, why did Rama go to the forest? Probably a lot of them will say, because his father asked him to. Rama did not go to the forest because his father asked him to go. His father promised his mother two bones, one of which was that Rama would go to the forest. At that point of time, even today, the one of the worst things that a human being can do is to lie, especially for people of the Treta Yuga, much more, let's say, pious period of time. That was one of the most horrible things that they could do, which would kind of guarantee their durgati post death, right? Ensure that they would not have sadgati. Dasharatha did not ask Rama to go to the forest. Rama went to the forest because he knew that if his father lied, if what his father spoke would become a lie, there would not be a sadgati for his father. This is the reason Rama went to the forest. In fact, Dasharatha in the Ayodhya Kanda asked Rama, put me behind bars, seize the kingdom. Dasharatha did not say, do not go to the forest. That is the importance of truth, satya, dharma, that people gave it. That is the importance that people gave to satya, truth, dharma, right? Dasharatha never said, don't go to the forest. He said, put me behind bars. I am bound by my truth. Put me behind bars, put me in chains, seize my kingdom, don't go to the forest. And we have the gall, the guts to question Sri Rama and our Itihasas and Puranas. Now, in the Mahabharata, again, there is a story where, a very famous story. During the Mahabharata war, uh, the Pandava side understood that as long as Drona was alive, they could not win. So Bhima killed an elephant by the name Ashwadhama and said, Ashwadhama is dead. Drona knew that Ashwadhama was a Chiranjeevi, one with a very, very long lifespan. So he turned to Dharmaraja Yudhishthira and said, "Is my son alive or dead?" Because he knew that Dharmaraja would never lie. Krishna told Dharmaraja, "You will not incur a sin. Tell him Ashwadhama is dead." Dharmaraja took some extra initiative and said, "Ashwadhama hataha, Ashwadhama is dead." And then in a low voice said, "Kunjaraha," which was not audible to Drona. At that point of time, Dharmaraja's chariot, which never touched the ground because of his dharmic nature, touched the ground. This is one of the reasons why Dharmaraja had to have a glimpse of Naraka at the end of the Swargarohana Parva. Though Krishna, Paramatma himself told him, "Tell that Ashwathama died, Ashwathama hataha," just tell that, he became a little clever and said, "Ashwathama hataha kunjaraha." So, uh, this is the reason I am saying that Dharma is not very straightforward. At times it is complex. When in doubt, question. When in doubt, ask. When in doubt, don't ridicule. So that's an important point. There's also this concept of something called apadharma, that when we are at risk of losing life, limb, a woman, a wife, like for example, like a daughter, something like that, a son. It is the dharma that has to be followed in those scenarios is something called apadharma. Does that mean we should lie? Maybe depends upon the scenario. So I'm oversimplifying this in a way. Let me give you an example of apadharma, which is in the also there's an example in the Bhagavad Puranam. This is also referred to as Shukraniti. So in the story of Vamana, uh, Bali Chakravarti promised Vamana he would give him 3 steps. Whatever area he could cover in 3 steps. Shukracharya, his guru, came to him and said, "This is Mahavishnu. He has come to take away your power and wealth. If you are at risk of losing your power, wealth, etc., you can lie. You do not incur any sin." He said, I will not speak a lie. If Mahavishnu, the Supreme Being himself, is coming and asking me something, how can I not give it to him? And he therefore proceeded with his Ana of 3 steps. So, this is something which is referred to as Shukraniti, which is said that when at risk of losing something, you can potentially lie. At the same time, we have stories of Satya Harishchandra and all who never spoke a lie. So the basic point I'm trying to make is this is something which is simple and complex. Be good, do good, be your duty. Don't do what's not your duty to the extent possible. Uh, and then hope for guidance. There's always a voice inside us which tells us what is correct or wrong. A lot of things are not very apparent. We are not all knowing enlightened beings. Now, this slide is the reason why I took Swami Karapatriji Maharaj's photo as my uh, virtual background a little while back. These 5 are extremely important to the world, especially to India. How is dharma harmed? Sanatana dharma, how is it harmed? There are 5 ways. These are 5 points that Swami Karapatriji Maharaj gave us. I found them pretty interesting, pretty valid. Obviously, it was said by him. So, one is non-confirmation or rejection. So, imagine that I have certain duties that I need to perform. I will simply not do it. Okay, there is no rhyme or reason. I will simply say I don't want to do this, or I reject this. That is one way dharma is harmed. Second, a laid back attitude without concern for happenings. I see that there is something wrong which is happening. I have the ability to correct it, or at least tell somebody that don't do this. This is not the correct way. I take a hands off approach and I say I don't want to get into this. I don't want to poke my nose into this. This is interfering. This is the second way. Third way, laziness. I have to do Sandhya Vandanam daily, ideally 3 times, at least once or twice. I am too lazy to wake up in the morning. I find lots of excuses. I don't do my Sandhya Vandanam. This is an example of how another example of how dharma is harmed. Opposing it and acting against it. So that's subtly different from the first one. In the first point, I simply say I will not follow. The fourth point, typically in today's uh, environment in our country, this typically comes from non-followers of Sanatana Dharma. And the uniqueness of Hinduism or India is that we have a lot of Hindus and Indians, Hindu Indians, who are actively opposed to Dharma, opposing it and acting against it, actively acting against it, right? This is the fourth point. And fifth very important point, there are a lot of people who talk about reforms. They are self-styled reformists who say that this has to change according to times. This is how Sanatana Dharma has existed. What is your standing? What is your scholarship? What is your understanding? What is your achara? What is your standing? What is your moral standing? Dharmic standing? Who are you to decide what is dharma, what is adharma? If something is not, it is something is given clearly in the scriptures and says this is dharma, who is this person to say that no, this has to be reformed, right? So these are 5 ways in which dharma has harmed. Now moving towards the end of our video today, a couple of shlokas, statements, phrases. We touched upon this a little while back from the Swargaharohana Parma of the Mahabharata. Vyasa says, Urdhavahuhu viromyesha, nachakaschit shrunoti me dharma tatthacha kamacha sakimardham na sevete. I raise my hands and shout. Nobody listens to me. Artha, wealth, and kama, desire, have to come from dharma. Why is dharma not followed? Right? So this is something Vedavyasa, the giver of dharma to us, to today's world, actually had to cry because obviously he saw that dharma was not being followed. Then dharma rakshita rakshitaha, dharma protects those who protect it. Now again from the Mahabharata and the Manusmriti, this sloka, dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshita rakshitaha, tasmad dharmo na hantavyo mano dharmo hado vadit. Dharma eva hataha hanti. Dharma kills he who violates dharma, okay, destroys. Dharma destroys the person who destroys dharma or violates dharma. Dharma rakshata rakshitaha. Dharma protects that person who protects dharma. Tasmat dharma na hantavya. Therefore, dharma is not to be violated. Ma naha dharmaha hataha avadhit. Let us not violate dharma. This is a prayer that let us be dharmic to the extent possible. I can be adharmic. I just need to be aware that I will face consequences for whatever I'm doing. Also, yato dharma tato jaya. Ultimately, where dharma is, there victory is. Yataha dharma tataha jaya. So wherever there is victory, wherever there is dharma, there is victory. The motto of the Indian state, Satyam eva jayate, Satyam eva jayate, Satyam, truth alone triumphs. Truth comes from dharma. Truth is dharma. Yataha dharma tataha jaya. Satyam eva jayate. This is the ethos on which the modern Indian state has been founded. The modern Indian state has been, or rather, has been derived from the reason the modern Indian state exists is because this country has survived multiple things because of Sanatana Dharma. Let me end this video with the hope, with the prayer that to the extent possible, as much as possible, we follow what is Dharma, and that Sanatana Dharma grows from strength to strength in its birthplace on this earth. Thank you for watching this video. Namaste. Take care. Uh, Navratri greetings to everybody. I should have begun with that, but happy Vijayadashami greetings, Navaratri greetings to all of you. Please take care. Namaste.